the Council of Governors made a big blunder by electing UDA leading governor, Madam Anne Waiguru, as the chairperson of the Council of Governors. Because according to the latest turn of events, UDA will only deliver a third of their manifesto if they are pushed to the wall. Welcome to the bold analysis. Thank you very much for your support. Kindly subscribe to our channel and also share our videos. Thank you very much for those who are supporting us from every part of the world. In future, Council of Governors should prefer, and even if need be, amend their internal rules so that a Council of Governors should come from the opposition side so that they can find an opportunity to get those who can put the executive to pressure. The system is collapsed. The governors are shattered. They are tired. It is done and dusted. According to the law, counties are supposed to receive monthly disbursement on 15th of every month. Today, Saturday, is 15th of April. And by the close of business that 15th Saturday, the Council of Governors or governors are crying that they have missed that county allocation since January, from January, February, March, and now April. And there are no signs that it's going to be paid. County government workers have threatened to down their tools. And I can see at the national space, at the national government, the discussion is going on how a syndicate loan is going to arrive to settle the national payroll. But the county payroll is at stake. Who will fight for devolution? The governors. Kenyans woke up in the morning to vote for the 6 positions. And as for the governor, you swore, you were sworn, and you also swear to make sure that you are going to defend devolution. I don't think it will have to be the Crusaders of 2010 Constitution to fight for devolution. On this one, governors must step up because the executive needs some pressure. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to delve into this matter keenly and deeply. Before I do that, let me remind you about our fundraiser to release one lady known as Mercy, whom I interviewed here. She delivered and there was a bit of excessive bleeding. There was tear, I understand that. I think ladies understand better. So she got extra medical service and the bill accrued in Kenyatta to 80,000. So I started that fundraising. That fundraiser is supposed to run for 1 week from Friday to Friday next week. And I'm reaching for you in a special way. Kindly, let's help bring this together. On humanity, we are normally united and we normally bring it home. I believe we can. So the number is pinned up there. Now, counties are nearly shattered. And what is very disappointing is you are seeing members of executive hitting the campaign trail and woodwinking the public about with very, very misguided narratives on mass action. There is even a conference that was called recently in Mount Kenya to talk about illicit brew. And I'm wondering, some of these interventions that people are speaking about are domiciled in the county, but the counties are not working. So what really we say, on devolution, it's not about begging, because people went and fought for this, and at least the shareholders of the company can do everything they want to the company. But at least for some of us who are not maybe members of that company, the only companies that we own are those counties. It is the counties that are empowering our villages. My village and your village. So when it touches devolution, it's something that must worry all of us. Listen to the way Anne Waiguru is begging William Ruto for the money.
We would want to ask the National Treasury to follow the law, to release the money to the counties, and as our chair has said, we are almost facing a crunch down, and anytime counties will close down because we cannot continue operating on credit. Every one of them, even our providers, get to a level where they are well exhausted and they cannot able to support. So my pledge and my prayer is that these monies are released as quickly as possible, and we also want the issue of equity to be addressed, where National Treasury should be an independent arbiter, as opposed to where we see it now leaning too much towards the national government. When you cannot pay salaries, when you cannot provide drugs in hospitals, when you cannot even move because the providers are not able to provide fuel, what else do you expect? The KPLC will be down, they are switching off electricity, and so what will happen is, if it continues, then we'll send all our employees on leave and wait until money is available.
I would take this opportunity to urge the National Treasury. I understand that they are constrained, but even as they pay salaries of civil servants at the national level, we are urging the National Treasury to remember and consider that county governments also employ civil servants. And so if they pay 50% of the salaries at the national level, they should also give us our 50% to be able to pay up-to-date salaries for the county governments. Many of our staff are suffering.
The governors are begging as if they're working for someone's pocket money, as if this money is, the Constitution stipulates it's a percentage. What is going to the county? It's a percentage of the national cake. It's in the Constitution, and the reason why I'm even feeling like we've just decided that we're not going to. The level of chest thumping is very worrying. And listen to Rigathi Gachagua telling the governors arrogantly, without care, that look here, we don't have the money. You can do what you want. This is it. This money does not belong to Waiguru. This money does not belong to my governor Asanga. This money does not belong to one of my best performing governors. That is, I've forgotten the name. Simbarati. This money belongs to the residents at the county level. It serves devolution. And devolution serves the villages. The ideology was not, the ideology was to decentralize power. That's it. So for the last 4 months, it seems like we are only trying to collect everything at the top. And it is in law. There is a law that says on 15th of every month. It's not under someone's obligation to choose when to pay it or not. I'm even wondering, I simply don't get it. Listen to what the truthful man is saying here.
So, if you want to hang us, we are helpless. If you want to remove our trousers and whip us on the buttock, go ahead. We don't have the money. Na sisi ni watu ya kuongea ukweli. What we don't want to do is to cheat governors that will give them money that we don't have. They were promised 50 billion, it never came. We are having problems giving them the disbursements every month. We are 3 months behind.
But Your Excellency, with all due respect, what exactly is happening? Why has it become? Why don't you at least pay what you can afford? Even if you can't do everything, but why don't you do something at least for the counties to be steady? Because it doesn't look like there is any sort of seriousness. to solve this problem.
07, we will try to look for 385. We will try. We are not promising. We will try. And one of the ways is to collect taxes. So, nyinyi mkiona tunapigiwa kelele kwa tax, nyinyi msiingie kwa hiyo kelele tu, mnyamaze if you cannot support us. You don't have to support us. You can just keep quiet. But we will try what we can do, and we have told the governors, if we succeed in increasing revenue from 2.2 billion to 2.2 trillion to 3 trillion, it is public information. We'll just sit again with the calculators, and all our phones have calculators. We just make sure you put a new battery so that you get the right numbers. Then we sit down again and calculate, and we'll give you your percentage. But right now,
can you face the reality here? Governors are leaning, Council of Governors is leaning towards UDA. Yesterday on Friday, he was seated next to Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua for better part of the day. She can make a call. Governors can make a call to Treasury and demand, but that has failed. They have an option of challenging this in court. They can sue the national government for breaching the constitution on this matter. They've not made that move. They're coming to call that press briefing. What for? If you can't sort it during the boardroom, then pack and go for that mass action. Because that seems to be what the government listened to. If you can't solve it, instead of calling these press briefings and, it's a waste of time. You can't sue because you are leaning towards the administration. Then what you need to do, you need to join mass action. Yes, that's what you need to do. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to take Raila Odinga to fight for devolution again. No, I think Raila has fought many battles. On this one, the governors need to fight that battle alone. They need to come out and lead the war on it. Now, we are in a mess, and we must be very careful, because UDA wants to collapse devolution, and it's not because devolution is bad, but it's because someone wants to centralize power. Someone wants to centralize power. Yesterday I saw a project was launched in water project was launched in Machakos. It's San Mavoko. Such a project was also launched somewhere in Game by former President Uhuru Kenyatta. There have been a bit of silence what's happening in the counties. When the counties are underperforming, or if they can't perform, then there's going to be little to show for that devolution. And the people at the top, the national government, will then have to, in terms of structuring their developments, they will structure developments to those areas that are friendly to them, especially those areas where shareholders are coming from. That's the truth. We've been told the government is shareholding, so we need to put it as it is. So, if we centralize, so that in any case, anything that happens, the credit will always go to President William Ruto. There is no one else that is going to get credit, or there is no success that is going to be experienced or felt without the national government. And that is why there is a poison in this country known as majoritarian rule. This majoritarian rule, why? Where we have minority and majority, and because we have majority and majority always have their way, they find a way of getting away with some policies, or rather some decisions that otherwise should even take someone to jail. That's it. And that's why those who found themselves in the minority, and especially the legislators that are supposed to provide the oversight role, and you remember now, the oversight role is not an abdicated role for the Azimio la Umoja. No, it's for both sides. The work of the legislature is for oversight. It doesn't say it's only minority that plays oversight. The only thing that is that minority is not, naturally it will always oppose the majority side. So that's why they found themselves de facto opposition or other critics of the government. But then, oversight is by all. So those who are leaning are crossing over. They found themselves in the minority, and they're crossing over to the administration, are actually doing a big harm to prosperity of this country. Those who call them saboteurs are not wrong. They are sabotaging this country. I want to repeat, President Ruto has said many times, not more than once, that he wants a strong opposition to deliver. That is it. And that opposition is not only in parliament. It's in parliament, it's in the ground, it's in the street, and governors also need to have their own way of opposing the government. Because UDA will only deliver under strict opposition. They have said it. It's not me saying where I'm seated. They have said it. So, devolution was hibernated under Rigathi Gachagua's ministry and under Rigathi Gachagua office, and it was put under State Department. Previously, it was a full ministry. Now, William Ruto in restructure decided to put it under the Rigathi Gachagua. Number one, zero interest in making sure that it's achieved. That's one thing you can see. Number two, those who are in it do not even have the interest. And it's been hibernated. It's been hidden from the public. If we could be having a devolution ministry now, I'm telling you, the government, these governors would have even mobilized to go and storm that office. I understand they wanted to storm the treasury to demand this cash. They should. Why not? They should. So now it's under State Department, the office of the Deputy President. How do you even then start going after it? It was a hibernation. And that hibernation is strategic. I am crying for my country, Kenya. But the leaders you chose to fix this country are only talking about fixing in the lips, while they have left the job. They have gone back to political mobilization because a second term is under threat, and that's why the system has collapsed. If you can't put Ruto on toes, devolution is dead on Ruto's arrival. Thank you for watching. Let's meet in the next.